All right. Once again, we are back. It is 7:30-ish Sunday night. Time for another episode of Live in the Man Cave. Want to say what's up, first of all, to our co-host, Coach Billy D. But as you all can see, we are missing one of the other guys. As you all know, ladies are taken by surprise. National champs times two. Make sure you say it twice. Jamie and Marcy both won, and they are having the ladies having their banquet tonight. So we told we'll give him an excused absence for you educators because he got a good reason. So in his place, we got a regular on the show. Coach Shake from Lake Region is gonna drop in and hang out with us this evening. So what's going on, Coach?
And right smack dab in the middle of this summer league, taking my little, taking my, taking my L's with pride. Still
Pride.
trying to, still trying to get these kids to understand. It's not a one-time thing. You have success is something that you repeatedly do, and the things that you do to get success, you have to continue to keep doing them. I think the kids kind of got off on the wrong foot, thinking that all they had to do was show up, but three losses in a row kind of straighten you back up.
Okay. All right, Coach. Well, we're gonna talk more about that, some of the other things as we go. We didn't do it last week because we was on the abbreviated version, so everybody can check out the games. No game tonight, so we can be more how we are normally. So we don't have the PG for too much tape, so we just gonna swing the ball around to Coach. I don't know if you got anything in the coach's corner. You do.
Man,
You got it.
I do have something on my mind from looking at the first week of summer league. And first of all, I want to say finally the Newts is outnumbered today.
Well, let me.
Yep,
Let me see.
root.
Take time. Two
Well,
minutes into the show, I'm like, how long this gonna take? I wasn't gonna say it, but 2 minutes in, it came.
Newts finally outnumbered today. You know what I'm saying? But we missing my brother on here. I'm gonna make sure I represent for him today.
Yeah,
So at some point, it's gonna be a black screen. At some point.
that was that.
Hey, coach, man.
Corner.
Watching
Oh no,
summer
you got.
league, man. Watching summer league. I say, coach, I will say that it's been a great environment, especially at the Advent Health Center and at Florida Southern. Man, it was awesome. So shout out to everybody involved, Coach Woodside, Coach McGriff, and everybody who made that happen. Even in Auburndale, coach, the environment was awesome. You know what I'm saying? So I will say that Summer League has a buzz still. Um, and kudos to the coaches and players for that. But I will say, you know, I'm very excited to see Summer League this year, and I wanted to make sure that Polk hoops get out so we can get, you know, a real good evaluation of these teams and players. So everybody feels slighted when rankings and stuff come out, but I just want to let everybody know, like, we out and about, we watching, to try to give the most accurate evaluation that we can. And like, coach, it's like a clear separation. It's like the good, and then it's everybody else. It's a clear separation.
Is that wide?
It's that wide, coach. It
Yes,
really is.
it really is.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. What I was expecting to see coming in the summer league um, was coaches, really experimenting this summer, trying something different, to see, you know, to evaluate their teams and basically put their teams in better positions when it comes into the fall and the winter. You know what I'm saying? But it just seemed like everybody, I won't say everybody, most of everybody just still doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of, disappointing in a way, understand that we have our systems in place. Um, like some people are man to man guys, some people are zone guys, but you don't see a lot of people trying stuff different. So, with that being said, should we see different results when it comes to February. And I just want, the coaches and players to keep that in mind. You really, really got to outwork people, and coaches, I challenge you to do things that you haven't done before in order to do things that you haven't done before.
I know for me, I'm the toughest sell is really the kids and the parents, because I don't really go into summer league looking per se for wins. Like a couple of the games, if that was my intent, no disrespect to those teams, but we could that I could have made that happen. But I'm more concerned about building up guys that haven't had any varsity experience, guys that haven't had any opportunities. I have transfers that quite a few transfers that came in. So, I'm trying to get an opportunity to see, what those guys can do. And sometimes it, may affect the outcome in the summer. But I mean, who cares? I mean, at least for me, who cares what happens during the summer? It's just when the game is over, the casual fan, like I said, the players, even some of the parents, their frustration level is crazy. Like I told them, I said we're 4 days into to a 9 months odyssey, from June to hopefully March, and if we got to keep having meetings out there every game, we ain't gonna last. So I wonder. I do look at. I'm watching the games, and I be wondering if some of the coaches get caught up in the competitiveness of it, and maybe get away from what they might be trying to do. But I know, for me, um, I tell them I'm not trying to win games. I'm trying to win my players. I'm trying to, get them, on the same page with what we're trying to do for the upcoming year. So, um,
And I understand what you're saying there, Coach Simmons. Coach Simmons, y'all are basically a game away of making the playoffs. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So, what you're saying makes sense. And like I said, I would say to you, like I would say to anybody else, what are you going to do differently, you know, as far as your approach to get those kids ready? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? That's how the mindset a coach should be taking it into, summer league. It's not about wins and losses, yes, but it's about improving. This is the time to try stuff. This is the time to experiment. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? And I just don't see a lot of it. I just see people doing the same thing. So I'm wondering, with them doing the same thing, do it they expect different results when it comes, to February.
Yeah.
Now, coach, do you okay? So let's just take you for example. Um, you had a 20-win season. You one game from the playoffs.
Hmm.
You got high expectations. Is it too far for the parents to feel that way based off of kind of how you finished the season and the kind of the expectations before summer league? Because I mean, you got high expectations for your team. So is that fair? I mean, I'm not on the parent side or anybody's side. I'm just asking in your situation. Now, if it's
I,
me and I'm at ABCD high, they happy I can just put 5 people on the floor. We can run up and down, So it's a
right,
different
right.
dynamic. So I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm just being devil's advocate for a minute.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all new, and then especially like I said, when you bring in kids transfers from other places, and they were the ones looking through through the mirror, I mean, or through the window, and saw, okay, one of the parents, he said, I just came and watched a few games, and I love what I saw, and that's kind of what attracted them to wanting to bring their kids over. So their expectation going in is, wait a minute, y'all were just winning a lot of games. What's going on? But that's why I always just have like for me in my program, my policy, any issue, anything that you see, any questions that you want to ask, I'm an open door, man. Come, you know, tell me whatever it is you want, and I can try to, you know, get you on the same page. And I get it, parents, fans, or what have you, they're never going to really truly see, what you see as a coach. They just because they're very, they just want to see the end result. So they don't care about me and what I'm trying to do. They just at the end of the day, hey, I just came to Lake Region because we supposed to be winning, and you're not winning. So what's going on? And then the kids that were already there, um, they're saying, Coach, why am I sitting right now? We could win this game, or we could be doing better. What are you doing? Like they have really literally been down my neck about why am I subbing? Why am I playing these guys? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? And I understand it, but I'm the architect, so I know what I'm doing. So I just kind of keep it pushing, keep it moving. I mean, they did really really well. I thought they should have went 2-0 at Santa Fe. Uh, June Jackson, was I messed with him. It was a tough call at the end, way, but I really love the way that they competed. It kind of, like I said, it kind of woke him up a little bit. And I didn't do anything different. I'm still doing the same thing. So uh, it's just about that's what summer is about, getting the guys to get on the same page.
Okay. All right. Well, Coach, I'm gonna keep it with you, Coach. Next topic. So a couple weeks ago, you posted it was something, and if I'm wrong, correct me, but I thought it was like Bethune Cookman only had like 5 or 6 scholarships, and essentially it's a mess with their program, and they still won't recruit Polk County. It was something along them lines. So I want you to kind of, because we this probably had this conversation about 2-3 years ago. So I guess my first question is essentially, are you saying that things still are the same? They've gotten better, or they worse?
I would say they improved because we finally got one kid at FAMU, and that was KP. And kudos out to FAMU coming in and actually getting a Polk County kid. But my thing was is that just to bring awareness on what's going on out here. People don't understand how tough it is for you to get a scholarship. You know what I'm saying? The transfer portal, as we said over and over again, is killing the high school kids. But my thing is like we can hoop in Polk, coach. We can hoop in Polk. My thing is at least come and try. And that was my main thing. At least come and try. Maybe we can start a pipeline, from Polk kids going, to our home schools. And it's not only them, I'm talking about everybody in the state of Florida, but especially them. You know what I'm saying? Like, what about EWC or Florida Memorial or any other HBCUs here in Florida? Are they coming here to Polk getting kids? And I really don't see that, not in basketball anyway. So it's really just to bring awareness. And we know we have a lot of alumni here in Polk that went to those schools. Maybe they can make their voice known, like, hey, get in touch with their athletic departments, their coaches. Like, hey, we got kids here that can play. They can not only play football, but they play other sports too, here too.
I know. I know that my best friend he graduated from Bethune, so he if you want to get him upset, just start bring up the Bethune athletic department. He just like, man, it's tough. Um, and we've had the same conversation as far as guys in Polk County can play. Now, it's some things you can't control, like if they grades and transcript ain't right. But if all things being equal, man, we got some kids that can go over there, and it's like it's one thing for them to say, okay, I got Bethune as one of my top 5 or top 3, and they pick somebody else. It's another thing that they're not even making anybody like list. Like they're not even offering them for the kid to consider it. And I guess that's kind of where you coming from. Like, I mean, come on,
Coach, like, for example, football. Their coaches in football, they'll put out on Twitter, whatever area they're recruiting, like, hey, we're coming through Polk. We're looking for kids, drop your highlight films, things of that nature. My thing is, I don't see nothing as far as basketball, as far as those schools come. I can't even tell you if Florida A&M or Bethune or any one of those other ones have been here. You know what I'm saying? And we figured out the last person that played got a scholarship for Bethune in basketball was Tyrone Crawford. Coach, he graduated in '98. Coach, we talking about 25 years. So in 25 years, we didn't have nobody worthy of playing at Bethune Cookman. Come on, coach. But then we always talking about why kids are going out of state. You know how we losing those recruiting battles to people outside the state when we have people that's in state that's not even trying.
Coach, you got to take on. I know that's your neck of the woods at some point in your life. You got any take on that? What's your thoughts?
Um, I mean, to be honest, I just think that they developed somehow, someone along the way, they just developed the mentality that they don't even like Coach said, they don't even try. They don't think that they can get uh the kids that here in the area that can really hoop. They think that they're wasting time. Um, you know, going after our kids, especially the ones that we feel like can play on a higher level, and then the others, uh, you know, like I said, they just for whatever reason. I mean, I can remember years ago, I won't say who, but talking to uh, a coach from one of those illustrious universities, and I mean, he was just straight up, he just told me, he said, "Man, they're not gonna come here," you know. We don't, I don't even, I don't even try, because them kids, they're not coming to Bethune for, various reasons. Seem like Bethune had um, the same issue, you know, for as long as I can remember, just in terms of, with facilities and things of that nature. And they always seem like every time you turn around, they got a different coach or one, coming in, coming out. So, I mean, I think it was a lot plays into it, but at the end of the day, there's no excuse. There's literally no excuse that just in the last 4 or 5 years, kids that have been playing hooping here right here in Polk County, and we can't say that we haven't had a kid at either one of those schools up until, like you said, KJ. So it's gonna be interesting. I think what we're doing right now is gonna light a little fire. Um, I'm actually taking Lake Region over to the camp. Um, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna, say a few things, when I get over there too, just about that. Like, hey, y'all got to get up. It's what an hour, 2 hour drive. You can't get up and come in and check us out. So, but yeah, they got a lot of work to do, and they got a lot of mending to do.
So my like I said, my best friend, he a Cookman alumni, and Tyrell is too. Shout out Tyrell, TNJ's network. But this is what both of them are saying is the main problem. And I don't know, never really heard of a AD being the head coach of a specific team, and you would imagine that it's going to be hard for that AD to be partial to anything outside of basketball. He has a vested interest in basketball. So how are you going to be impartial across the board when your sport is involved in it? That just seems like a conflict of interest to me. I don't know if y'all got a different take on that, but that's what they both are saying is the main problem is that the AD is the basketball coach.
That's why they don't allow you to do that in Orange County. If you coach a main sport, you cannot be the athletic director because that is tough. That is tough. I mean, you obviously going to lean toward your sport, and I don't care how fair and impartial you say you're going to be. Say that extra little money come in from somebody, and they just, hey, where we want that to go to, you know, you're more likely to man, you know what, we need some new basketballs or footballs or whatever the case may be, depending on the sport. Um, so yeah, I think that's tough.
It's only been a few occasions where I've known the head coach of a major sport has been the AD at the college level. I think at one point, Wisconsin football coach was like the AD of the school. So I definitely get y'all point on that. But speaking of that being said, okay, the AD of Cookman is the basketball coach, but yet you got 6 scholarships that are available. So that's fascinating to me. Fascinating. So are you really putting in the time and effort that you need into your particular sport, or is it too much on you? My thing is, I want all these colleges and universities to succeed. We all want them to be successful. You know what I'm saying? But I think they limit themselves when it comes to some of these players. And I know for the longest time, especially in football, we criticize them for always going to Jacksonville or down south to get players instead of coming here to Polk or these small towns and getting players. And we wonder why these kids go out of town. And the sad thing is, yes, their facilities are not up to date. They're not the greatest. But yet, if I have an uncle or a parent that's an alumni, you know what I'm saying, they still gonna push the pride in their school. You know what I'm saying? Like, just think about the FAMU Bethune Cookman rivalry and how the alumni get behind their schools. You know what I'm saying? You think they won't send in one of their kids there? A coach won't get behind that school if they get one of their players? You think if a kid from Polk get there, it won't start a pipeline? Like, hey, it will help recruiting for future kids?
Hmm. I mean, I wonder how much does he even know about the area? That's another thing. I mean, with all the alumni, from both of those schools, how much are they, that are from this area or live in this area? How much are they, trying to pump it when they, speak to the school, the people that they know within the schools or whatnot? 'Cause I mean, wait, Reggie Theus is the coach, right? Right, just
Yeah.
right over here. Yeah, I mean, how much does he know about Polk? Does he have anybody on his staff, that has any, just any type of connection or whatnot? Because I think that may, also kind of plays into it too.
So this I I read a interesting tweet um the other day, and this is kind of a two-part question. So it says according to an NCAA, of course, an NCAA, only 2% of high school athletes are awarded some form of athletic scholarship in college. So if that's being said, I was talking to a parent for a coach the other day, and he brought something to my attention that y'all both may already know, but I wasn't aware of. That these schools, these small like D3 schools, some JUCO schools, essentially have JV teams,
Yes.
and essentially with the JV team, you're not really necessarily getting the full amount of money, so you got to come out of pocket with the rest. So is that is that in a sense like a fundraiser almost, like almost like travel ball? I think Lakeland Fire when I think that, like, you got to pay to play essentially. I mean, that seems like that's a scheme, and I don't want to say nothing to mess up whatever the system is, because I just found out like the other day, and I was like, wow. I said I got to bring this up on the show. Might not want to talk about it, but
Coach, they've been having JV teams longer than you actually think. They was having JV teams when I played. You know what I'm saying? Because think, who are these prep schools playing against?
JV team now, yeah. I mean, but I'm like,
Yeah, so they have JV teams, and like prep schools play against them, JUCOs play against them. But you hit the nail on the head. Like, you've seen some local colleges, right, start up football programs in the last 5 to 10 years, right?
Hmm.
So what does that mean? That increase enrollment. So that increase money. So, I know that they're telling these coaches like, hey, coach, you got to have 100 kids in your program.
Hmm.
You only can in football, you only can put 11 on the field at a time. Even these football teams, coach, got JV teams
Yeah,
that they
and I
play
think it's
schools with.
excuse me, my bad, coach. I think it's twofold too, though. I think that part, and I also do think that there's some, um, some type, probably a financial boost that comes along with it. And then the great thing is, if I got a kid that maybe wasn't quite sure, I get a chance to have him on my campus, underneath my supervision, and it's kind of like G League, the NBA type, situation, um, where he, and if they, their game improve, now it's an easy recruitment, and they, they're like I said, they are because they're already there, and now a kid that developed right here underneath my roof is now playing, with my regular team, opposed to the kid probably being somewhere else and not, and me not having that opportunity. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of smart, but and I guess one, depending on where one stands, depending on where one sits.
And you gotta also understand that they place these kids too. Okay, you didn't qualify, but yet I'm gonna put you in this particular prep
Yeah.
at this particular place, so we can get your grades right. We can get you qualified, so you can roll into our program, so they can keep an eye on you and make sure that you have the resources necessary in order for you to get eligible. Coaches, it's definitely lucrative on both ends. People have been doing this for a very long time. It's
Hmm.
actually the ugly side of it.
Hmm.
So
So, coach, couple things. First of all, shout out to Mike. You see, Mike, I'm taking it from both sides tonight, Mike. Outnumbered for the first time in Polk Hoops history. So, see the smiles. You see, I'm here. I'm here. I'm in uniform, but I'm humble, But anywho, so a couple things came in, a couple comments came in while y'all was making y'all point. So look at a couple of these. So we got Coach Morrell, who's from Weber. He said they called the developmental team to reduce recruiting next year and increase enrollment. So we got the college perspective from a college coach in the area. Coach D'Alessandro says, shout out to Coach D'Alessandro and Brooke back out playing, back off injury. Glad to see that. That's a sidebar. So it says cheaper to go to a state school to get a partial scholarship to an NAIA school. Um, this coach Pruitt, I think he kind of back to the Cookman conversation, the other part of this. Well, maybe this might be it too. There's kids I know who has money because their grades, go to school, they want to play basketball, can really hoop. So, and I don't know if y'all saw what Coach Jameson said at one point. And Coach Higgins asked this question earlier, and I know maybe Coach Billy D, how did that happen with KJ? Because like you said, the HBCUs don't normally recruit Polk. So how did that?
what helped KJ is that he actually played for a circuit team. Remember, KJ was with the Knight Rider, so he was playing on the EYBL. So especially when you start talking about low to mid major D1s, they know they're not going to get those top tier players. But that one player that's playing for those teams, they know they have a chance at those particular kids. So they hang around for players like KJ, and we had a number of kids, especially when me and Coach Shake was with each one teach one. Yes, we had a lot of kids that go Power Five, but a lot of our kids went to places like Fairfield and you know mid to
Hmm.
low major D1s because they knew they couldn't get that 4 and 5 star. You know what I'm saying? But they can get that one kid that's that can produce at their level. You know, so I think that's what happened with KJ. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure they was able to get a pretty good assessment while he played on the EYBL circuit.
Okay, so that kind of answered that. Oh, he came on to visit during homecoming. That'll do it every time. Undefeated. You want to get him on campus. I remember we had when we a couple of us had went back in the day to a football recruiting trip to Tuskegee, and they brought us up the weekend that they played Alabama State, and it was on not it was on BET. Remember back in the day when BET used to show the Saturday you game of the week. So they was at Tuskegee and they was at the game, and it was like we in there with all that crowd stuff. So you bring them in, and then you pitch them on this how it's gonna be all the time, and that's why you end up getting them, and then they get there and find out the difference. So yeah, you bring them on homecoming, KJ, and next thing you know, it's a it's a breaking news. 2023 that's fully committed. So
Yeah.
shout out to them for at least getting him. Like you said, hopefully he go up there and he performs. Not to put that pressure on him because I mean he's just a kid trying to get education and play sports. But he does well, and maybe they might be like, okay, where that kid from? And but it was in basketball though, Coach Simmons. It was in basketball. So he was in the gym and Chevy James. Yeah, just built it. Shout out to you. So lost my train of thought. But it's like hopefully if KJ go and do well, they'll be like, okay, where that kid from? He from Lakeland, because that's how they do it. So you at least want to tap in and see am I missing anybody? Because clearly if he does well against other people missed him. So, but once again, no pressure on KJ. Like I said, we just proud and happy that he gonna be able to continue to play ball and get some education, as well. But I just not to put that pressure on him, but before KJ, what was the last player that, like we said, you say so 98 to now? That's come on, we can't have 25-year gaps in the thing up there, however long that's been.
Yeah, when it comes to a scholarship, I think the last player has been 98. We don't have some kids like try to walk on and stuff, but definitely not receive a scholarship.
Okay. And Coach Jameson said he was in Stillman, that's in Alabama. It's kind of the same type deal. So it may be, and it probably is. It's probably more than just us, Coach Jameson. We just be pulling for our kids, and sometimes we get blind. But hey, come get eyes. But I mean, I'm sure it's a problem that other people experiencing too. I definitely agree with that.
But on the flip side, though, Coach, when they do come knocking, we can't have kids and coaches turning their nose up. You know what I'm saying? Because those are D1 opportunities when you start talking about FAMU and Bethune-Cookman. And EWC now is Division II. So, you talking about, good levels of basketball. And then, with most of your education paid for. So let's not, deter them from coming either.
Right.
Yeah. And the end of that story, y'all, is after that weekend, all 6 of us that came up from Lakeland, all 6 of us committed to Tuskegee based off of a environment at a basketball game. And they may or may not have snuck us out the thing to a party. And that might have may or may not, the story get conflicted depending on who's telling it. But anyway, so I thought that was going to be an interesting conversation, man. Because I saw it, and then, we had this long gap before we got back on here. I was going to talk about it last week, but then, the show kind of got abbreviated. So, all right, well, good combo. So we're going to switch back to Summer League. First of all, I wanted to say, since last time we've been on, that 2024 Winter Haven, make sure I said it right, Winter Haven guard Yoshi Neiman put up a UTC offer, Tennessee Chattanooga, so I want to say congrats to him. He got it after the show last time, so we had already got off. So Summer League, before we go into what we're gonna do is we're gonna say what we think who has been the most surprising team, most disappointing team. Then we're gonna do the top 5 that we got after week 1, and then we're gonna announce the top not top 5, but the first 5 invites to the high school showcase that we're doing at the alumni tournament next month. All right. So either one of y'all can first the most surprising team so far in Summer League.
For me, it's Lake Wells. You know what I'm saying? Lake Wells, they haven't named their coach. You know what I'm saying? But, they have a team in Summer League. Coach Greg have them playing at a really high level. And they're 3-1 right now, Coach. Their only loss was in overtime to Sebring. And they should have won that game. I think they're giving people trouble. The talent is still there. I think for me, that's the most surprising team right now.
Okay.
They were definitely a surprise, but for me, it's Lakeland, just because you did I you didn't think that they would return in the fashion in which they return. I know it's just that it's quote unquote just the summer league, but if I'm not mistaken, they undefeated, right? They handled a very early. I think the first game against Bartow and came out victorious on that in that end. I just been surprised. I mean, it's just kind of like plug and play. Um, Coach Hen's really doing a great job with those guys. It's like next man up. I mean, they haven't changed the way they do things. And I mean, as a guy, just been around the game for so long, it's just amazing to me the success that they're able to have. I don't think they ever run a play. I don't think I've ever seen them call one set. They just go get it. And I think they're gonna make some noise during the season. You're gonna have to beat Lakeland, you know. So that's I've been the most surprised about that. And like what Coach said, Lake Wells has definitely been a pleasant surprise with all of that's going on over there with them. But right now they have to get a nod to Lakeland.
Okay. All right. So that's the most surprising. Who have been the most disappointing? And if you don't want to speak on it, that's fine. We just have to
No, hey Coach,
do both sides.
we cheering up, Coach. We are the most disappointing team right now. I don't need nobody to tell me that. I know that, Coach. I stand on 2 feet with my chin up, chest poked out. From going from what everything that happened that we did last year as a program, what we've done, what we've put out there on the floor, what we've produced, what we've shown is disappointing. I can't see anybody else, and I've watched a lot of the games that has had more of a disappointing start than we have. So I'll take my frat brother off the hook without and go ahead and say it.
So we as in what school for the people that don't know you, Coach?
Oh, Lake Region High School, Coach.
Okay.
The region, as I call it, the region.
Coach, do you have one, or you gonna stay out? You gonna abstain from this one?
Yeah, Coach, I'm gonna abstain.
Yeah, I know. I always take care of Coach, man. I can tell he start rocking how he feels. So,
yeah.
All right. So
I said it for him, Coach.
Bro, I'm gonna see how this week go though. But it's one other particular team that I expected to be better, and
okay, yeah,
they came
abstain.
out the gates stumbling. So I'm hoping they have a better week.
Abstain.
All right.
I know who you're talking about, Coach. So he need to just leave it alone.
All right. So this is the Polk Hoops top 5 from season 1. So at 5 we got Sebring. At 4 we got Davenport. If I had a surprise team, I would say Davenport. At 3 we got Victory. 2 we got Lakeland. At 1 we have Winter Haven. So 1 Winter Haven, 2 Lakeland, 3 Victory, 4 Davenport, 5 Sebring. Coach, I see you doing a lot of movement before I put my phone down where I had to listen at. So I'll be quiet and let you tap in.
Solid list, Coach. Solid list. I was just surprised that you had Victory. That we had that Victory came in at 3, even though like I said Lakeland has been very surprising. Just from everything I saw, I just thought it was Winter Haven.
I will say this, Coach Simmons, it wasn't a consensus with the top 5. We had some discussion.
Okay. Discussion. As always, and I mean, we're probably talking about inches here, but I just didn't think that Victory did anything that would to move down. That just me.
It's an age-old question, Coach. Does a one-loss team's loss factor more into an undefeated team? And so, I mean, I'm not saying that may or may not have been the question here, but you got Lakeland that's sitting at 4-0, and you got Victory sitting at 3-1, but Victory 3-1 was against Winter Haven. So,
which was a great game.
Which was a great game. So, do you essentially make that a wash? Or how do you approach it? So that's the age-old question. So you can look at it from a couple different lenses, and that's why it was not a consensus.
Yeah, but
we're not robots, so everybody think how they think.
Right.
But
Right.
we always say everything gonna take care of itself. And Coach Simmons mentioned Lakeland earlier. Lakeland is actually playing pretty well right now as a unit. The kid from Arbondale is big, is huge for them right now. Um,
I,
I really haven't seen him play a lot. And the few times that I've seen him play, when he was at Arbondale, he's playing at a high level over there for Coach Hen. And the other kids are falling in line. So it's really no argument, about the 2 and 3 spot because, like I said, it's eventually going to take care of itself. But definitely, Winter Haven is a clear number one. They haven't lost yet this summer, even in the team camps that they went to. Um, Winter Haven has to answer some questions about, their bench. But other than that, coach, man, they killing people on the board, the offensive board. They are killing people. You know what I'm saying? Sebring at number 5. You had a couple teams at 3-1. So happened Sebring actually beat one of those teams. So we gave Sebring a nod. They're actually playing pretty well right now. Um,
yes.
and it's not all Sylvester either. Those kids, Coach Harris got those kids buying into what he's trying to sell to them, and they're
Yeah.
playing at a high level.
Yeah. A couple of guards over there.
Hmm.
A couple games I saw look really really good. I mean, Sebring is just gonna Sebring. That's how I say it. Sebring gonna Sebring. They competing and playing at a very high level. But I also want to say the kid that transferred from Arbondale to Lakeland. I had to ask several times, is that the same person? Because
Yeah,
I watched him play at Arbondale, and I just didn't see what I'm seeing now. So whatever he did, whatever happened, comfort level or whatever the case may be, man, he is looking really really good. He's one of the surprise players. Like he's really playing at an extremely high level.
and Coach Fitzgerald, what he doing with Victory, um, it's a couple players outside of LJ and Adino that's stepping up in a huge way, and they're gonna need those kids to actually get over that hump.
Hmm.
It's one kid that I'm really impressed with, and I'm curious to see how he continues to develop. If I'm Coach Fitzgerald, I continue to install confidence in those kids that they really don't have to take a back seat. They need to bring that A game along with LJ and Adino. And right now, I think they're playing at a high level too.
Coach, so question. Both of y'all have been coaching for a long time. Before we jump to the play the invites, y'all both been playing coaching for a long time at a high level, had a lot of success. Had this discussion this weekend with someone, and essentially, no, we had it with the co-host, with the PG. Essentially, our conversation was, when does, because I saw Mr. Riley, shout out to Mr. Riley, tapping into the show tonight. Mr. Riley, Bartow, Faithful. But he's saying it's too early to start having this type of conversation. So our conversation off the air was, so when is it? And our thing is, and Coach, you tapped in part of the conversation the other day, is you start preparing for next year's state after this year ended. So if we get knocked out in the regional finals, next year start next week. Everybody don't subscribe to that. So it's like we was talking about how people approach summer league. Like it's like, look, man, we getting ready to make a state run in June. And some people are like, hey man, they just show up. I'm just happy. I just go out there and run around and just run into each other. you know? So what we
Hey,
doing?
coach, unless you coaching at Mount Verde or one of those top notch prep schools where you know your kids are gonna be there, you're gonna and you have those 5 stars, bro. You win or lose your state championship in in the summer.
In the summer, coach.
You win or
Yeah.
lose it,
What
coach.
we talking
Yes,
about?
indeed.
And
Yes, indeed.
now
Yes,
that I'm
indeed.
not coaching at Lake Wells anymore, if you didn't play in the summer, don't even try to try out for varsity come October, November, bro. Like if I haven't seen you all summer, you come to try out for varsity. That's not gonna happen. That's not. If you've been around all summer, you haven't worked out, you haven't come to weightlifting, you haven't come to none of the practice, none of the, the summer league camps or anything. You just show up in November thinking you're gonna be on that team. It's not gonna happen. You have
Yes.
to be like a move in from out of state or out of the area and special.
Yeah, transfer. Yeah, yeah.
You
I
know what
mean,
I'm
the
saying?
summer.
But you
Go ahead,
win
coach.
or lose during the summer, coach.
Hmm.
Somebody had to tell me. We went to Florida State camp in 2011, going into 2012 year. Somebody told me then, like, "Hey, y'all gonna win a state championship this year." I'm like, "Coach, man, it's June. What are you talking about? We just trying to make it back. You know what I'm saying?" But they told me like, "Y'all gonna win it." You know what I'm saying? But they saw the work that we was putting in back in June, coach. Like
Hmm.
these are more important than the season, because you can't just put it together during the season. It's not gonna happen. We're not talented enough here to make that happen. So the work
Hmm.
starts now. As a coach
Hmm.
and as a player, you can win. You can play yourself out the playoffs right now by
Hmm.
what you're doing right now. And if
Hmm.
you're not working, if you're not getting in the gym, if you're not getting your skills better, probably some teams that we expect to make the playoffs are not going to make it, and vice versa.
Cause
It
this
is the foundation.
this is the thing, coach. Because what we know is other people are. Other people are in the gym. Other people are working. Other people are doing the work that you saying, hey man, we'll get to it when we get to it, you know. So it's like you got to put the work in it for no other reason than the person that's trying to get where you going is, and every day you take, you on the couch, they working, and
Hey,
so
coach,
if nothing else don't give you motivation, you not, it just cause you ain't working don't mean other people ain't.
coach, let me say this to parents and players that have this aspiration of playing high school ball and college ball. Like, these are not optional. You know what I'm saying? You can communicate with your coach, like, hey, coach, the family's going on vacation this particular week or weekend, and things of that nature. At this point, bro, it's a sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? You have to be there. When I say the best ability is availability, you have to be there. You can't get better if you're not in the gym. You can't get better if you're not in the weight room. You can't get better if you're not on the field. You like at this point, you have to make a sacrifice to be there. You got to be at practice. You got to lift weights. You got to get your skills up to date. You know it's basketball, so you know during Thanksgiving they're playing somewhere. You know during Christmas they're playing somewhere. Parents, don't put your kid in a situation talking about we have a vacation plan, knowing your kid might be the best player on the team. So what you gonna do? T- Take them on a cruise or whatever and kill the team? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's a
yeah.
sacrifice.
That's what I tell them. June is mine. June is mine. Whatever you do in July, hey, more power to you. But we got to have June. It's the foundation that you build. Whatever house you building for this year, June is the time in which you build that. That's the foundational piece. You find out a lot about yourself, a lot about your players during the month of June. It's important. You have to do it. You have to be there. And like Coach said, um, I thought last year, uh, watching Lakeland again, during the summer was when I said I felt like that they had a really good chance to make it to Lakeland. They fell one game short, but I mean it started right there. So yeah, the summer is summer league, June month of June. It's important. It,
So
it's
what do you say, both of y'all, current coaches, former coaches, summertime, talking how important it is? So how do you have that conversation, and what conversation do you have with your two sport kid, i.e., football, basketball? How does that conversation go with the football kid? And we hate to say the football kid when they're a basketball player too, but how does the conversation go with the football kid when y'all are essentially now splitting time, and in some cases, y'all time may happen at the same time. Then how is that? How does that go?
I
Well,
think the first conversation got to be with the other coach itself. Like, hey, coach, let's sit down. I know we share kids. Let's figure out a method to make this work. And communication is key. And I had a great relationship with my football coach. I was like, hey, coach, what weekend are you going to camp? So I make sure I don't schedule a team camp on that particular weekend. When are you working out? In the morning or in the afternoon or both? Um, in order for my kids to make sure that they make their mandatory workouts for you, but at the same time, they're available for me. And all my kids, they knew they had to go to weightlifting with the football team if they didn't play football. You know what I'm saying? Then we had practice in the afternoon before we went to summer league, and that's the way we worked it out. Most of the time. But it goes down to communication, and it starts with the other coach, and then you sit down with that particular kid and parent, like, hey, we know we share kids. Me and the other coach work this out. We need to make sure that we're all on the same page.
yeah, in a perfect world, I wish I could say that I had better experiences, but a lot of times with football coaches, interpretation or version of sharing kids is play football and nothing else. Um, Again, that's just some experiences that I had or what have you. But I actually do have. I mean, he has the shoulder the lion's share of our scoring. He plays football, and through the week, I mean, it's tough on him because he has to go to football practice in the morning. They're going from 6:30 to 8:30, and then you know practice with basketball at one from 1 to 4, and then go and play games. So his body uh, is taking a pounding. So I mean, for me, I know that I can only control and the names of the gentleman whose last name is Simmons that live in the house with me. So a lot of times I just talk to the parent and try to gauge where they are, as far as how they want to handle that. And given that the kid is a two sports athlete, I'm not going to do anything or say anything that prevent them from trying to accomplish whatever goals that they have for that sport as well. Because when it's time to pay for school, I'm not going to be there. And coach ain't got it. So if they can get a scholarship doing something else other than basketball, who am I to stand in the way of that? So but I just think it depends on the school, depends on the coaches. Because again, I won't name no names, but I have not had great experiences with football coaches when it comes to two sport players.
Yeah, I was about to say that because Coach Billy D had a great relationship with his coach. Um, Princeton, Coach Harris and Sebring probably got the best relationship. Well, before this year with Lakeland, but before that, he probably got the greatest relationship with a football coach possible. So when it's good, but when it's bad, then it could be rough. And like you said, we trying to make this state run in the summertime, but this kid, the starting running back or star receiver, safety, whatever. And like you said, coach, his ticket is football, but man, we matter over here too. Basketball matter too. But the coach know that football is his ticket, so he got the upper hand essentially, and he using it to his advantage.
That's kind of like this weekend with Armwood. We play Armwood. None of the football players are there. I think one. I think they know. I'm sorry, one of them were there, but the rest of them. Mm-mm.
Wow.
And so
Oh man. Well, that's a good conversation. Just wanted to kind of put it out there to y'all. So we're gonna list our first 5 invites, and we'll send an official invite. We just want to announce it live on the show. So we're in no particular order. We just said 5 that we've identified. Probably won't be a surprise with most of them. So the first one from Victory High School, 2024 guard LJ Kaysen. Second one from Winter Haven 2024 guard Isaac Salazar. Third, also from Winter Haven, 2024 guard JP Phillips. Number 4, probably, do we want to say arguably the most exciting player in Polk County that nobody has really seen? Maybe that's a good title. I don't know. But 2024 guard from Lake Wales, Sebastian Rosado. And the 5th invite, also from Winter Haven, newly from Winter Haven, 2025, the only 2025 kid from Winter Haven forward Zay Mosley. So those are our first 5 invites. Remember, it's specifically from Summer League. And also the top 5, it's just a disclaimer, the top 5 teams that we just announced, they are from Summer League play only. So we know some teams playing a lot of games outside of the Summer League. We just felt it would be fair to do just Summer League because everybody not playing Summer League games. I mean, not team camp games. So it just felt like it might not be fair that one team got 13 games, one team got 5 games. But we know everybody going to get 4 games this past week at the Summer League. So we just thought that would be the most consistent way to do it. So I want to put that disclaimer. So like some teams did very well away from Summer League. So we didn't factor that in because we felt like it would not have been fair. Okay. A lot of games went on this weekend besides the Summer League. Santa Fe had a real good camp right here in Polk County. Some great games, had some real competition, real good schools from outside of Polk County, which they don't normally come to Polk County. So shout out to Coach Mike Blicker and his staff for putting that event together. It was very well ran and put together and competitive. And that's what you want when you go to team camps. Coach, I know you went. So I know you got some good work in. Some people that you might not normally see, which is what coaches want. We want to play as many people as possible that we probably never see so we can get different looks on what we'll look like against people that when we haven't had a chance to scout a game plan for them. So was that your kind of feeling from the Santa Fe camp? You feel like you got some extra games in and got a chance to?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. We played Lake Minneola the second game. That's the game we lost 62-61. They got a chance to make some noise, so you got a chance to really see a different style of play. Kids that you don't normally see, and that's what camp camp is all about. You want to go and you want to play people in different areas of the state. Again, one of the reasons why the summer is so important because you never know. You play somebody during the summer that you may end up seeing further down the line once you get into the season, or maybe you have a point of reference for maybe because they played somebody during the season that you are about to face, and it gives you a general idea of where you may stack up at. So that's that's an aspect that's very important too. And anytime you can go in and somewhere and just compete, where get a chance to really see if your kids will step up, and compete at a high level. It's always a good thing. So I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I told him definitely, have us put us down for next year. It was very well ran camp for especially over just 2-day period. So I mean, I'm looking forward to bigger and better.
Okay. All right. So last thing, speaking of before we jump off, this week marks the first of 4, right? First of 4 live periods. June 16th through the 18th. So very happy to see that Florida has entered into the live period race. So we have a lot more teams that will be participating in the live period this year than I think probably, Coach, you've been doing it for a lot longer than I've seen in a long time. Like we got 3 that'll be in Georgia. That's Winter Haven, Santa Fe, and Bartow. And then we got like 6 that'll be in Gainesville. I know I'm gonna miss somebody, but I know Lakeland, Sebring, Kathleen. I got 4 of them. See if I can let somebody. I think Victory maybe. Victory, and Jenkins or Davenport. But we got 6 teams that'll be in Gainesville and 3 in Georgia. So 9 teams that'll be participating in the live period this weekend. So as both of you all being vets of this live period thing, to parents that may be watching, so that we're being realistic, and also kids, so we're being educational. What is it should they expect? What should they be looking for? What discover my bad, Coach Alessandro. Thank you. Discover going too. So what should they be looking for, looking at, questions, the whole gist of what how the process, what's because if you got the knowledge of certain expectation, if you don't, you kind of go in there with the wrong expectation, then you're disappointed when it didn't line up how you thought it would. So if y'all can help even just one parent, maybe one kid, to get a better idea of what they're walking into if they haven't, what would you all impart on them?
Coach, I would say it like this. They can't communicate with them. So what you'll have is that you're able to come in and play with your high school team, not your travel ball team. So you playing with your high school team, which most people have a more, you know, bigger role with their high school team. And my thing is that you got to go in there and just play your game and within yourself. College coaches will be there. They're evaluating. Maybe they're coming to look at somebody else, and you're playing against them. That is your time to make a first impression. You know what I'm saying? And what they're looking for is efficiency. You know, they're looking for those intangibles like how hard you play, you know, what type of teammate you are, you know what I'm saying? The hustle plays, where you're making a difference at, you know, and then, you know, what type of impact are you making on the game? Uh, are you only a scorer? You know, but they're looking for difference makers, period. What's going to separate you from that next person? And they're not looking for somebody just going to go in there and just hoist up 20 and 30 shots. You know what I'm saying? That's not what they're looking for. Of course, you hit 25, but you took 40 shots. You're supposed to have 25.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're looking for efficiency. You know, people that shooting the ball at a high level, point guards that are taking care of the ball and orchestrating their offense. You know, who are lockdown defenders, who are great teammates. They're looking at body language. You know what I'm saying? I hear body language all the time from college coaches, and it's when they're taking you out the game or an intense moment and how you react to it. I done heard people stop recruiting people because of their body language.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or what they, you know, what they may say or what type of teammate they are.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, as a parent, encourage your son or daughter because it's also a girls' live period too. You know what I'm saying? It just go in there and just play the game the right way. They don't have to do anything extra or spectacular just because those college coaches are there. You know, just stay within yourself, play hard, be efficient, and be a great teammate.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Coach said it all. I mean, anything that everything he said, is pretty much what I would say. Definitely about, staying within yourself. Do what you do. I always use an analogy of the Henry Ford assembly line. If it's your job to put the transmission on, just put the transmission on, man. I don't need you to go start. Let me put the motor on today. No, just keep putting the transmissions on. We're gonna produce great cars if everybody do their job. Even the guy, if your only job is to put the windshield wipers on, it may seem like a small, insignificant role until it starts raining. Because no matter how good the motor or the tires, the transmission, or anything is, if you don't have windshield wipers when it's raining, then you can't go nowhere. So every kid just needs to make sure they go in and not try to do anything different than what they normally do. And if you provide something that the coaches are looking for, they're going to see it, and hopefully you'll get an opportunity. I would also say they need to be very, very careful, and you got to conduct yourself in a manner in which makes you recruitable, not only on the court but off the court. I kid you not, in the hotels, at the restaurants, walking to the car, everything. Somebody, you never know who's watching. You never know if somebody's watching, and the impression that you give might be a lasting impression. No coach wants to happen to be sitting in the lobby and hear you, talking noise about a teammate or how the coach ain't playing you or this, that, and the third or what have you. So you need to be on display, so to speak, the entire time that you're there. Never take anything for granted. You never know who's watching. Again, like Coach said, I've seen, unfortunately, and had to be a part of situations where things like that have taken place. It was something that you did off the court that turned that school off or turned that coach off. My biggest message to parents always is just go be a parent. Just if you're going, be supportive. If you're not going and you calling, don't ask about playing time and all that. Just hey, I just want you to know I love you. We support you. Believe it or not, that goes much further than sometimes parents going further than what they really should. So that would be my advice for the kids and the parents.
And don't be the reason why they don't recruit you because of the parents.
Oh yes, yes,
Mm.
yes,
They're looking at your
absolutely,
conduct also.
yes. Yes, won't say who it was, but that happened. Kid ended up Billy Donovan. When Billy Donovan was at Florida, ended up not. They ended up not recruiting the kid, not because of him, but because of the parent. So
So, Coach is Coach just made a real life connection. What Coach Ambo said, Coach Shay.
oh, okay, yeah.
You gotta make that stuff relatable, man.
Yeah.
Gotta meet them where they at, not where you at. And
Yeah.
them the best the best coaches are teachers because innately that's what you're doing. You teach it. Now whether they always get it or not, that's something different. But you always teaching. So, anywho, tomorrow night is the NBA season. Is it shirts to the left, shorts to the right for the Heat, or do they live to fight another day?
Shirts to the left, shorts to the right, coach. Shirts to the left, shorts to the right.
Oh man, so Denver it's just Denver years. Nothing. Nobody's. They're just the best team.
Coach,
Coach,
I think they kind of like when Golden State a few years back, when they just kind of popped on the scene. I mean, what Denver's doing, I mean, it just works. And they got the right personnel for what it is that they want to do. It's gonna be interesting to see. I
Coach
mean,
had
I got
Coach shook in his seat when you said they just got it. He
they
didn't
just
really take
got it,
that.
but my thing is like we expect Jamal Murray, we expect the Joker to do what they do. You know what I'm saying? We expect Porter to do what he do because my thing was he was a lottery pick until he got hurt in college. You
oh
know,
yeah, hurt his back. Yep.
yeah, he was a lottery pick. But those other guys, coach, those other guys is where the difference is right now. You know what I'm saying? The Brown kid, the game he had once in a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? And Aaron, who expected Aaron Gordon to have 27 the other night?
I know.
You know what I'm saying? And
No.
then those other guys, like y'all said, they are playing their roles, and then they get a little confidence going. They play even higher than probably what's expected of them. So now you don't spend all this time worried about the Joker and Jamal Murray. Now these other people are killing you,
Killing you. Yeah.
straight killing you. And then me
Yeah.
and my brother had a conversation yesterday. But I think Miami is worn out. They're tired. Just think how many games that they have played in order to get here. You know what I'm saying? Even the Boston series went 7. You know what I'm saying? I think the series before that went at least 6. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I just don't think they have the legs to pull it off.
It certainly looks that way. And while on the air, let me say, I changed my vote, Aunt Bo. You were right. I reluctantly, but I have to just call a spade a spade. Yes, Jokic is definitely having the best playoffs, finals. I did not want to give it to him. I just kept saying Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Butler. But I mean, when we talk about those role players, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Jokic, he makes everybody better.
Facts. I'm not gonna give it to you, Ambo, but I'm gonna give it to you. All I'm saying.
I'm gonna
He going
respect
down
it,
with the ship. He going down with the ship.
but I can't do nothing more than that. So
But I mean, Jamal Murray has been really impressive for me also. to be the first player to have 10 assists in his first 4 NBA Finals game. That's never been done before. You know what I'm saying? He's playing at a really high level. You know what I'm saying? So the stars align for them this year. Definitely.
Question: how many kids on that Kentucky team have made it to the NBA Finals, man? I'm starting to look at Calipari a little different, man. Because one Murray, Devin Booker, all them guys, a couple other guys on that same team.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't think many other have made it to the finals though.
Okay. It was just a thought I had the other
That
day. Like,
team was
wow, I
stacked.
can't believe they didn't win. I can't believe they didn't win the national championship. And maybe it took them to get to the league to develop something else. But I mean, just
Oh, okay, come on, coach. Since you brought that up, talking about keeping a spade, man. Calipari can't coach. Come on, man. Let's just keep it real now. Let's get on here and keep it real. That man cannot coach. Is he a great recruiter to get talent at Kentucky or wherever he has been? Yes, but let's just keep it real. That man cannot coach. And
hey,
I'm
that's
just
what we do here on Polk Hoops, man.
I'm just keep it. That man can't coach, man.
I'm just waiting for the comments because I know there's a lot of Kentucky fans out there right now.
I know, and he ain't one of them.
Hey,
you just
All
click.
those things he got what? One national
one.
championship?
He got one with Anthony Davis, Gilchrist, and them guys.
Come on, man. You gave away one with Memphis.
Oh my God!
Gave away one with Memphis. A bunch of other Kentucky teams should have won it.
Yeah, they should have went undefeated and they lost to Wisconsin. Boy, yeah, he let Bo what it was Bo Ryan, what's his name? Wasn't that Bo Ryan?
Coach, what he ain't gonna do, huh, Coach? What we ain't gonna do is talk about Calipari, huh, Coach? Hey, Calipari got good credit with John Smith.
Oh man.
Hey, Coach K, I got good real estate. I know. That's why I ain't saying I knew it was coming. That's when I knew you was on here. I knew it wasn't gonna be fall. Oh man, so well, man, that's all we got for tonight, man. We got I guess we can talk about a couple. Y'all, so we got summer league. Oh, this week starting the playoffs. No.
Yes. Wednesday will be the first day. Tuesday, the last day of the quote unquote regular season.
That was the last thing. So summer league regular season, if you want to look at it that way, it's Monday and Tuesday, and then on Wednesday starts the playoffs. Once again, shout out to Coach McGriff. Once again, shout out to the GOAT. First of all, I'm sure Tuesday night, I don't know what they're gonna do Tuesday night. They might not even be on the schedule because how deep they roll. But Tuesday night, Coach McGriff goes into the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame. Shout out to Coach for all he do.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
well deserved. Congratulations.
Just a true GOAT, and he hated that he getting this recognition. But I told him he gonna get these flowers while he can smell them. He always used to giving out flowers, and you've earned it. So, Coach, on behalf of Polk Hoops, I want to say congrats to you. Well deserved, probably long overdue. But take it with the grace that you take everything else with. We extremely proud of you and all your success. But Tuesday night will be the regular season finale, and then Wednesday the playoffs will happen based off of the seeding, and the seedings are very going to be very interesting with all these teams. So it's going to be very interesting how things roll out. So we won't be able to post the game schedule for Wednesday. Well, I mean, we post the regular season schedule up until now, but we won't be able to post those games until things play out for the playoffs. Coach, real quick, I know you got to abstain from it. Do you want to take a shot at how you think the playoffs are going to shake out? I mean, summer league wise? I know you got to play people, so you may not want to say nothing. So I kind of lobbed it, and you can take a swing at it. You ain't got to.
I mean, Coach, I'm looking at it Winter Haven versus the field. So,
So everybody playing for
It's,
second place.
Coach, they got a lot, Coach. They got a lot in it, and they're not just resting on their laurels. They playing at a very high level. I think just Yoshinimo is just going to do some really, really good things for this year because as good a player as he's been, he really hasn't had not really hasn't been in the spotlight, so to speak. But when you have all those other guys, you kind of still forget that he's out there, and I just think he's going to have an opportunity to really, really do some really good things for those guys. I mean, on any given day, any team can be beat. You got to go and you got to compete against them, but just just right now, realistically, I got to take my Lake Region coach hat off and just from a basketball perspective, man, it's gonna be tough, but the playoffs should make for some very interesting, very exciting basketball. I think everybody really needs to come out because there's a lot of teams that are playing really, really well. Like you mentioned earlier, I don't think Davenport's lost this summer, and they played also in some uh, team camps and whatnot. So Ampo has those guys rolling. You talk about the victory, as well as they're playing. Osceola, I mean, if those kids are making shots, that team can beat a lot of teams. Lake Wales, Sebastian, you just got to they start out with 20 points on the board because he is a walking bucket. Uh, Sebring again with what they're doing. So just even getting to that, Lakeland, if you're not tough, don't even get on the floor. So just the summer league and all of the competitive teams that are out there, I think it's going to be fun just getting to the championship. But at the end of the day, I would be very, very surprised if Winter Haven doesn't win it.
Definitely. And you can't sleep on Santa Fe if they are healthy and have everybody on the floor. Tay Darnold's playing at a really high level, coach. I watch him give everybody buckets on Saturday, and it's just another team that you got to watch out for. So
Yeah, coach.
it's gonna be real interesting this week.
Two
It's
teams,
unfair.
two teams that two teams you figure that will get better as the summer league goes as they get healthier would be Santa Fe and Bartow. So I guess you would say don't get caught up in what you see right now
Yeah,
because she now won't be the finished product. So they got both of them. I know got guys that they're not have been 100%, but they still they're gonna
Yeah.
still compete. And Coach Blick or Coach Griffin ain't gonna
Yeah.
say that they won't ever say that they're gonna line up and go with what they got. But
Yeah.
that's us. That's us analyzing it and looking at it. Um,
Yeah.
from where we're at. So
And not want to make excuses. I mean, we're not healthy either, but it doesn't matter how I say it. If I say it, it's gonna sound like an excuse. But I mean, we have several people that are not healthy as well. So it's gonna be interesting once the playoffs start. I think everybody should definitely come out just to support Polk basketball. But it is going to be some very exciting games once the playoffs start.
definitely. And it also may determine the transfer portal out too.
Oh,
the transfer portal ain't closed.
hey
Hey,
man,
coach, man, these people outside of county not playing fair. I just got a text that say a kid from the Rock and Darius Washington kid just transferred to OCP. So that's not great news for victory. You know what I'm saying? Like they
oh.
outside, so boy, I already know how it's gonna be in the county. But we not finished.
No, we're not, coach.
That
Several
door,
of them kids waiting.
door is remote. I do like to do in the old western. So that thing swing both
This
ways.
And
yes, coach.
you got to the first day of tryouts.
Yep.
See you there beforehand.
It ain't even the first day of school no more. Cause you can be there before you pull up loan. You there before they start trying out. That's
Yep.
Tryouts.
so. Well, coach, before we end up, both of y'all, man, y'all both busy men. But what is one goal? One goal you got for yourself for this week? That you don't have to, if you don't want to share, you don't have to. We just every now and then we ask this coach. We keep it. We check in with each other, coach. So you get it. We always ask one goal we got for the week, just to kind of get us with that forward thinking.
Coach, honestly, I just want this week. I just want to take better care of myself. The basketball stuff is grueling. It's I mean, it takes a lot. It takes a lot, not just physically, but also mentally, emotionally, financially. It's just it's very exhausting. And sometimes you can forget, look out for little old you. That's kind of what happened with me this week right here would have been the first week, just trying to do everything And so that's a goal I got for myself is, I got to make sure that I'm taking care of me. I can't do the things that I'm doing if I don't take care of me. So that's a personal goal for me this week.
Okay.
Coach, I would say is to actually pour into someone else. Um, one of the mottos that I live by is lifting as we climb. And my thing is that I just want to pour into, someone else, bless someone else with the knowledge and, the information that I have in order to make them better, whether it's coaching or just in life in general. A lot of people don't know me personally, but I really get gratification by seeing other folks' success and happiness. So to hear about Coach McGriff, this week, I'm so happy for him. I'm so excited for him. You know what I'm saying? To see and talk to different coaches, them asking me about certain things and just to see, those things implemented into their program and just to talk to kids and just try to make them better. You know what I'm saying? I seen Kevin Capers the other day, coach. He's home from Israel. You know what I'm saying? Just to hear him, talk about all his experience and, talk about, what impact that I had, in his life. You know what I'm saying? So just things like that. Cause I just want to pour into somebody else. It's not about me. I'm not selfish. I just want to try to bless somebody else this week.
Okay. That's what's up. And I'll just say to close it out real short, my goal is to crush all the goals that I have set for myself this week. Keep God first and everything else will take care of the rest. And that's just really it in a nutshell. So, Coach Shay, we appreciate you, man, tapping in the man cave, man, and
Hey
hanging
man,
out.
always
Man.
a pleasure.
We appreciate you, man. Good luck to you this week, man. I know you got it. Like you said, you just got to keep chopping wood, man. So tomorrow night, y'all got. Let me see. I know
It's
you.
a fun one, Davenport.
Y'all got Davenport, so it'll be a little. Uh oh.
Yeah, me and Bo, man. Hey, man, we have a ton of respect for each other. We go way back. It's always fun, man. I love competing with him because I know he's gonna bring it every single time. His team's gonna play. They gonna run through a wall for him. So it's always fun. And I know they kind of smartened a little bit. We was able to go over there this year and still won from them in double overtime. So I know that they probably had that one circled.
Okay, so that's game of the week, huh? Summer League. Davenport, gotcha. Right, we're gonna talk about next time on the show. We're gonna talk about the alumni tournament. We getting stuff together. We set some rules to the team reps, I guess, school reps, and we're gonna do the seating this week. And we'll kind of post how we're gonna do it before we do it. But we know you ready because you just still playing 30 years later, still playing like you run up and down for Coach Collins. So saw right the other day at Coach Collins' retirement ceremony. So that was good. He came to check out Coach and send him off right. So we appreciate y'all, man, rocking with us this evening. As always, to all the young men that's going to be playing this week for the live period, good luck to you, man. Make sure y'all go hard, man. Like we say, y'all make sure y'all represent yourself, your school, and your family because, it could have some money waiting on you if you go about that thing the right way. So take advantage of the moment, man. Be a good teammate and listen to your coach, and the rest of the stuff should take care of itself. But hopefully everybody does with the summer league this week. And until next time, appreciate y'all rocking with us. On Coops, we out. Y'all be safe.